but you can observe how individuals tend to hold on to discussions about what someone did or didn't do, repeatedly recounting the story and growing more aggrieved with each retelling. Ultimately, it all comes back to the state of connectedness with one's being. It is only from that connectedness with a deeper dimension of your true self that forgiveness becomes easier, as forgiveness implies something done on the level of outward actions by one being to another, causing pain or transgressions. However, it is from this place of connectedness with being that you can perceive the relative nature of what occurred, because you are in touch with an inner space that remains untouched by external events. This dimension within you is beyond harm. It cannot be injured. It is only the physical or psychological forms that can experience pain. For instance, someone may have deeply insulted you, and the psychological aspect of your being may feel the pain, or even the physical form might be affected. The transgression was committed out of unconsciousness. The first step towards forgiveness is to recognize that such actions arise from a state of unawareness, and they do not define the essence of that person. It is only from the place of connectedness with being that you can release any grievance or resentment, for you are in touch with the part within you that cannot be harmed. When you are disconnected from that space, forgiveness becomes challenging. Not forgiving means holding onto grievances, resentment, or any negative emotions regarding the situation. In reality, that is only possible when you are connected with the formless essence within yourself. As A Course in Miracles teaches, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. It means that what is ultimately real cannot be threatened, and what is ultimately real is not the external form but something deeper, the formless essence that remains unharmed. Looking back at my personal experience, I harbored grievances towards my father for many years because he carried immense bottled-up anger. Growing up with him was akin to living with a powder keg, always on the verge of exploding due to the slightest trigger, often my mother. The constant anticipation of an explosion created a fearful and distressing childhood for me. I had conflicting emotions, fearing his return home yet longing for his presence. In one childhood dream, I even imagined cutting my father into pieces and hiding them under the bed, only to greet him lovingly upon his return. As an adult, these experiences resulted in significant grievances towards him. However, a transformation occurred within me, bringing profound inner peace. It was then that I realized he acted according to the conditioning life had imposed on him. As a child, he carried resentment towards his family due to his own circumstances, which continued to affect him throughout his life. My father was as much a victim as I was, driven by unconsciousness and unable to disidentify from his anger. He was merely a vehicle for the anger to express itself, not fully conscious of his actions. Forgiveness naturally arose within me. I didn't have to consciously try to forgive him. It was as if he had never done anything to me because, fundamentally, he hadn't. Only unconsciousness resided within him, influencing his behavior. Similarly, in many instances of injury, there is often a mental judgment of the situation. Beyond that mental judgment, not much else truly occurred. Let's consider a simple example. You arrange to meet someone who promises to help you move, but they fail to show up. That is the bare fact. It is our mind that adds interpretations like being let down or betrayed, which create the sense of injury and strengthen the ego. If you can simply acknowledge the fact that they didn't show up, without adding a story to it, you won't experience the unnecessary anguish caused by the mind's interpretations. People tend to cherish conversations about what others did or didn't do, attaching significance to perceived betrayals or wrongdoings. But when you are connected with your true essence, you can let go of these unnecessary stories and possess a clear perception of events. Indeed, nothing truly happened beyond the fact that they failed to fulfill their commitment. Refraining from attaching stories to such situations becomes easier when you are connected with your authentic self. From that state of connectedness, you can release grievances, resentments, and negative emotions. Every loss or injury, whether material, reputational, or even the loss of abilities, can serve as a gateway to the formless dimension. What you lose is always something on the level of form, and any loss can potentially lead to a deeper realization.